Sveicināti, cienījamie skatītāji, un jūsu ekrānos raidījums Kāpēc, un studijā esmu es, Alina Lastovska. Pašlaik Baltijas valstis ir ļoti vienotas un mūsos ieklausos vairāk. Tāpēc tikšanās ar Lietuvas un Igaunijas kolēģiem sacīja Latvijas premjerministre Siliņa par reģiona drošību un būtisko Rail Baltica projektā, kā arī citiem jautājumiem intervijā ar Igaunijas premjerministru Kristenu Mihalu. Sveicināti!
Tervist!
So, good afternoon and welcome to the Delfi Latvia studio. As I mentioned earlier, there are so many serious issues to discuss. We're having this conversation on Friday, but it will be on air next week because we have to translate it. But let's begin with something a little lighter. At the end of May, the Eurovision Song Contest took place. And Latvia gave Estonia 13 points, so 12 from public and 1 from jury. But you gave us only 11. So how should we feel about the fact that our neighbors gave us fewer points?
I cannot explain that, but usually this kind of Eurovision voting go as they go. But I am quite glad that Estonia did well last also different Baltic songs but Eurovision is not like I would say that it's not on the country's level side that everybody decides we will give our neighbors that and that.
I don't know what we are expecting next year from you. So did you vote for Latvian song by Tautumaitis?
I didn't vote for any songs, to be honest. I watched our song and my family was watching the whole voting process and so on, but I didn't have the nerve and time to watch it.
Okay, before Eurovision, we had a small controversy here. Our representative Tautumaitis, in an interview with public broadcaster's Russian language service, responded in Russian, and it caused a lot of criticism. I asked my colleague, Latvian journalist Inga Sprindje, who lives in Estonia, whether such a reaction would have occurred there, and she believes it wouldn't cause a scandal. Do you agree?
What wouldn't cause a scandal?
Because our representative replied in Russian to a journalist from Latvia who was asking the question for Russian language service.
Depends. Usually in official business we don't use Russian, and right now European working languages are all the different languages, not Russian. So I would advise everybody to use Estonian, Latvian even, maybe English, but not Russian.
Okay. But returning to your meeting's agenda with Prime Minister from Latvia and Lithuania, a key point, of course, was security matters, and we are increasing defense spending, discussing military industry development, taking a lot of other steps as well. But how much has security situation in Baltic states improved in recent years?
I would say that our capabilities have been improving. Because Russian aggressiveness has also been growing, to be honest, because Baltic states and hopefully the Nordics have known for a long time what Russia is and what Russia represents, because, to be honest, the problem is Putin and his idea that breaking up the Soviet Union was the biggest geopolitical mistake, as he has said, and wanting to correct that mistake. But for us, we have been ramping up our defense capabilities. For example, Estonia was among top 3 in NATO defense expenditure last year. That Poland was the first, Estonia second per person, and the states third. But Latvia and Lithuania are also in the top. So, and right now, Latvia is ramping up defense expenditure. Lithuania is going to 5 to 6%. Estonia next year starting is over 5.4% or something. So I would say that investment-wise, probably we are well and better off. But until Russia and Putin changes his goals, until that, we have to be prepared, and prepared, not too afraid.
And we are prepared now.
We are. I would say that we are prepared because NATO is the strongest defense alliance in the whole world. For example, just before the desinking from Russia's energy grid, which was not so long time ago, we had this problem in the Baltic Sea, which everybody probably knows in Latvia as in Estonia, that Russia's shadow fleet ships tend to find different critical infrastructure objects with their anchors. I called NATO's Secretary General, as did Finnish President, and our military guys and different people in headquarters were coordinating. And this operation Baltic Sentry started to run and still runs on the seas. So I would say that NATO responds quite rapidly and well. It has the capabilities. And also if we have, let's say, questions in air or something, our air policing works also well. So the planes are in the air and quite rapidly they can react. So I would say that yes, probably we are prepared, but it needs investments. For example, Estonia is investing in different capabilities, also in defense industry, but also in let's say, air protection and so on.
You said that we have to be prepared because of Putin, his idea of Soviet Unions, and everything, this imperialistic, ambitions. If there will be a regime change in Russia, we can be, not be prepared anymore. So everything changes then?
Not probably, because I wouldn't be so naive that Russia would be hit with democracy and capitalism somewhat soon. But to be honest, everybody in Europe, I would say last 20 years or 15 years had this kind of expectation that Russia will be a democratic country and there will be democracy, capitalism, free elections and so on. But nothing of that kind has happened there. And right now I wouldn't even predict that what would be Russia after Putin. I would say that Putin and his allies and this regime can stay in power by having different conflicts going on, because right now you cannot see anybody on the streets in Russia. Before the aggression increased in Ukraine, you saw the people on the streets saying that they are not content with what is happening in Russia. But right now you don't see anybody on the streets. If somebody would go to the streets and scream that he's not content with the Russian regime or Putin, he or she or her or his family would be sent to the front or assets taken away. So for this kind of regime, this is the way to keep themselves in power. So that's why Europe and the States should increase the pressure, because this is the only thing Russia understands. Strength, pressure, unity against them to have the peace, just and lasting peace in Ukraine.
About European Union unity on this question on, support to Ukraine, your colleague from Estonia, Kaja Kallas, had this proposal about, help to Ukraine, and there was different thoughts in European countries about that. So why others do not understand that only Ukraine's victory will help this?
I would say that they do. Europe is quite united, and right now I wouldn't even assess, and this is my personal assessment, but I would say Europe is right now stronger and bigger than it was a year ago, because this kind of triangle, London, Paris, Brussels, going towards peace, right now it's already having Berlin in that circle. So I would say that Europe is already larger with a push than European Union already. Countries outside even the European Union are helping Ukraine and pushing Russia. And with helping, probably, I don't know if it's common knowledge, everybody acknowledges each day, but Europe has helped money-wise Ukraine more than everybody else in the world, even the States. Weaponry-wise, probably the States is the number one, but I would say that European capabilities of helping Ukraine and having Ukraine in the future as part of European Union, these capabilities are quite high, and also this is very possible that and also achievable that Ukraine will be soon in the European Union.
You mentioned this coordination within NATO states and support, but in time of crisis, wouldn't greater coordination between our countries, like Baltic states, be beneficial? For example, joint structure could be useful or something like that. What do you think about this idea?
But we have a very good coordination, to be honest. I would say on the working level, prime ministers or presidents or whoever is responsible for what, or ministers, the working contacts are immediate. So I would say that Baltics, also Nordics, are working quite well together.
About this military industry development in our countries, what are currently the main obstacles to this development, and what can we do more here, like governments?
Probably the main obstacles, I would list them not in chronological or alphabetical order, but probably the one question is that is there an industrial tradition? Second thing is that what are the public procurements? Let's say, for example, in that area you need public spending or public demand for certain products, and you can have them, let's say, shipped to Ukraine or whatever area you need them. And also maybe some kind of local issues also, like planning and bureaucracy and so on. So for certain things we can deal, let's say, for example, to have, let's say, military industry parks or defense industry parks built, and also having previous industry areas for uses for that, and also public procurement, because Estonia has this kind of scheme that 0.25% of our GDP we are helping Ukraine with each year. It's a little bit more than 100 million euros per year, and we are ordering this from our military industries, defense industry, and as fast as they can produce, it will be sent to Ukraine to help Ukraine to fight against Russia. So they will have this kind of stateside order, which will boost the industry, and also they will have the reference and their product tested in Ukraine also. Does it work? Can you sell it in the future also? So I would say that looking from Estonian side, and probably the same in Latvia or Lithuania, it's no different. We are doing everything we can, but probably there are ways also to increase the tempo.
But should we, I don't know, coordinate between our countries? What you do in Estonia, what is your strong side on this military industry? What we do here in Latvia and Lithuania, or it's just the industry and that decides what they should?
Usually people in capitalism are free to decide what do they produce and where, and usually it depends pretty much on the access to markets, also skilled labor and infrastructure and so on, because yes, as pointed out, Estonia is quite well known for its vibrant IT sector and cyber defense capabilities, because we were the first country in the world to become under systemic attacks from Russia's side since 2007. And the attacks last year, which had any kind of influence, did not go down, but the number increased, not decreased, which is quite important. So we are dealing with that also, but this is also gives an experience and also like a basis for having certain products made in Estonia. But and also at the same time, we have also companies that are already investing, let's say for Latvia, for example, because you have certain skills in making certain drones and certain products. So I would say that capitalism usually finds a way, best people, best places and best markets.
Okay. If we speak about public awareness, do our societies know what to do in case of threat or crisis? Have we done enough in this area?
I would say that we probably have done a lot. We have done a lot. In Estonia, we have this kind of Defense League, which is a voluntary organization which is helping, and also stateside. This year we have different kind of information campaigns and even added budget to increase this kind of resilience. Also, for example, private media's resilience fighting against this kind of constructed Russian narratives, but also public media to be able, if we come under whatever crisis or attack, to be able to broadcast news. So we are all the time ramping up different capabilities, but to be more vigilant and also able to handle different crises, probably public training and knowledge is what is needed and more increasingly needed for future. So that starting, let's say, from the schools and kindergartens even, that everybody knows what to do with different crises. If you have, let's say, some kind of climate crisis, or if you have a different crisis, so on, you know what to do. That probably brings much more awareness, and also you are much more prepared, not afraid if something happens. So probably finance and training is the answer to this kind of question.
About knowing what to do in crisis, are there significant differences between people in Baltic countries, for example, Latvia, Estonia?
Oh, I don't even know, because to be honest, in Estonia, I know that we have this kind of defense league already, and Ministry of Interior, everybody is preparing, and also school system. But we also have like this kind of Estonian way. We have this kind of app which says "Be prepared." This kind of app, and everybody can look up that what are the products you need, for example, if the power goes out, or what are the products in need of certain kind of events. But I don't know if you have this kind of app in Latvia, or if Lithuanians have this kind of app, or how are they preparing. But I would say that these kind of things evolve in time. So I'm quite fond of Estonian way that we are trying new things. And also we had this kind of test of sirens a few weeks ago, and some of people were somewhat astonished that they were so quiet, not all working. But that's how you try things. You try things. If it's not working, you try again until it works.
Compared to Latvia, Estonia seems much more direct in talking about defense, about possible threats, and how ready you are. Is it a strategic decision?
I even don't know. Maybe it has become a way, but there's also discussion sometimes in Estonia that you should not be in so many details coming to defense issues, but what kind of weaponry, in which year are you procuring from where? So, but Estonian system is that we are quite public with our funds and let's say capabilities procurement, and it also gives a big trust to, let's say, to the state, and then the example for Estonian military, because their trust rating is very high.
So you would advise government to be transparent about all these issues?
If possible, if not giving away, let's say, for example, capabilities or advantages to Russia, because I would say that even Russian embassy have Delfi probably running on the computer, so we should not say anything making their work easier.
Another issue on agenda in the meeting was Rail Baltica. Previously, you expressed confidence that the main line should be completed and operational by 2030. Despite the problem, are you still confident in this, that this goal will be met?
You won't achieve any goal if you give up before. So that's why I'm saying, jokingly or not jokingly, that if Latvia won't be building the main line to Estonia, we will build from Estonian side to Latvia. But I'm quite confident, and I have trust in your Prime Minister that she said that she will do anything and everything she can to achieve the goal of 2030. So Estonia and Lithuania also are at the same boat as are Finland and Poland. Everybody's interested in Rail Baltic. So we're doing everything to help to get secure funding from European side, or share experiences from our side, because last year our budget was also tight because we increased our defense expenditure, but we still increased Rail Baltica funding from Estonian side to about 200 million euros or something like that. But
about this joke you mentioned, do you think that joke could turn into reality?
Why not? Why not? But because this joke has a good basis, because if you look at the price of 1 kilometer per line, in Estonia it's approximately, not exactly, but approximately 2 times cheaper. So, but it could come from, let's say, different terrain or different expectations. Let's say, for example, you have rivers and bridges that we don't, and so on. I can understand that, and everybody should understand that this is somewhat jokingly said, but if the price would come down even a little bit, because in Estonia right now we have 1/3 of our line already under the construction. At the end of 2026 we will have all the line covered with different kind of works. So we have split up it into sections, and companies are working on it or starting to work. So yes, if Latvia needs our experience to help, we are more than willing to help.
But about this difference in cost you mentioned, but do you see it can be really explained with all this terrain and bridges, or there's some other problems here in Latvia? How do you see it?
Usually, I have been dealing with many infrastructure projects before. I was the Minister of Infrastructure, also economy and climate and so on. But I would say that usually it's a question of procurement and project management, not political question, but probably it's the question that we have different kind of systems. In Estonia, Lithuania, we have this similar system, and Latvia has somewhat different system, that you had one big procurement probably. We had it in sections, more competition, more local companies and so on. So that's probably why. And that's why we are saying that if our experience can help you, we are more than willing, because we are at the same boat and we need Latvia to build this line, because or else we will be at the border and we'll start building there. So it's that will be the case.
Okay, let's see what will happen. But one more current issue, our national airline, Air Baltic. So Latvian Prime Minister reached out to Estonian and Lithuanian governments asking them to consider potential interest in investing in Air Baltic in IPO. Why don't you want to invest in Air Baltic?
We don't have the concrete proposal for first. Second, if there will be an IPO or some kind of proposal, we will absolutely look at it. But right now, I would say that there's no ask for money or no proposal for IPO or exact details. So I don't have anything to comment on into what to invest, because to be honest, Air Baltic in Estonia, in Tallinn, is a very valued company, because for us it's a good company, it's running well, planes are new, everything is working absolutely well.
So it's not like a final decision. If you have like more information prepared to you, you will consider it?
I would say that political support that Air Baltic is running well, and if it will have an IPO, that we can do, but money matters usually come in smaller prints and finer prints. We should see different kind of proposals. We don't have any concrete proposals. I asked your Prime Minister today also that when the time comes, I hope that Latvia or Air Baltic will send details to our ministries and companies, but right now we don't have this.
So you don't have any doubts about Air Baltic's potential?
I know that running an airline is quite costly, to be honest, and I appreciate everybody who can do it. It's a tough job, absolutely tough job. We have had many experiences in Estonia, and they are not good, to be honest. So if Air Baltic has a magnitude of servicing 3 Baltic states or Nordics, I keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best, because Air Baltic for us in Estonia, it has about 20 to 30% of our Tallinn airport share, and everybody appreciates it. It's a good company, planes are new, everything is working, so for us it's a good company that is working well.
Speaking about economy in general, quite a tough time here in Baltic states with economic growth. Do you have any clear ideas how to boost economic growth in our region?
Right now we are doing different changes in Estonia. We changed the government, and after that government lost one partner. We have now 2 partners left. We are pretty much pro-business government right now. I would say we have restored and we have good relations with the economic community. And the first thing we are doing is cutting different rules, data, asking, bureaucracy, and that is a very straightforward things that we are doing. For example, also next week or in weeks to come, we are looking at the planning rules and so on, just to have businesses and entrepreneurs move faster, because the big problem is that even though Estonia is quite up-tempo country, that we have everything online, everything's running, but certain areas need to be looked at and getting better. But also the question was that during the COVID times, probably the problem came to Baltics also that the money didn't have at certain point no price or interest rates. And after that, inflation, central banks had inflation like taming programs, and the rates went up. So that influenced and choked our economy. So right now, as the Euribor is going down, probably that will liven up all the economies in Latvia, in Estonia, Lithuania. That probably will be a big help. And also the question of security, because I would say that in Estonia still it is the first thing everybody asks. On economy side, and also if you talk to anybody in Estonia, I don't know, in Latvia probably the same, what will happen with the war? Are you secure? Are you prepared? As we started this interview. So I would say that the message that we are investing, Baltics are investing heavily in defense. We are prepared, not scared. That means that you can invest in Estonia, you can start family there, and also in Latvia and Lithuania.
Estonia also had quite difficult decisions about taxes and expenditures. Here in Latvia, our Prime Minister took a different approach. She said that taxes won't be raised. But looking at this region's economy, how do you see, will eventually Latvia and Lithuania have no choice but to raise taxes?
Lithuania is already raising taxes. Today we talked to prime ministers that they are having this kind of tax raise. I would say that every country can have their own decisions made, because, for example, Estonia, we are raising VAT and income tax, but at the same time we are abolishing already established taxes on businesses, which is received very well on the economic community. And also certain taxes on private persons, starting from €1, which was the income tax. So tax level as a country as a whole will go down in next years in Estonia, not up. So that is the state of play, and we will remain at, I would say, lower half of European or last third of European tax ratio. So Baltics are not very high tax countries, to be honest. So the taxes are not probably the main question as much as they are spoke of, but I would say the main questions are probably, which was the economy question, was the access to the markets, Russian aggression in Ukraine, insecurity, and also Euribor, which pressed especially Estonia very hard, because our debt ratio in private sector is much higher than in Latvia and Lithuania. Right now, as it's going down, and as at the same time Scandinavian export markets are ramping up, Sweden, for example, is doing much better, then we have new possibilities, new horizons. So right now I would say that I would be cautiously optimistic, because nobody in Estonia is fully optimistic, but cautiously optimistic that things will get better.
About taxes and economic growth and all other things, we like to compare in Baltics, compare ourselves to each other. Do Estonians see themselves as competing more with Lithuanians or Latvians?
To be honest, in Estonia, everybody says that everything is better off in Latvia and Lithuania. Everything, even the government. Everything, prime ministers also. But probably with, for example, energy prices, we are comparing not to Latvia and Lithuania, but to the Nordics, which are the cheapest, because they have hydro and nuclear and so on. with a certain other areas, probably also with the Nordics. So we had the comparison basis with the Nordics and sometimes with Latvians, Lithuanians, especially usually in like somewhat masochistic key that if Latvians, Lithuanians are doing something good, then somebody writes in Estonia and Delfi asking that, why didn't Estonia do that? So it's that way. I don't know, it's in Latvia, probably the same.
Yeah.
Okay, you should write to Estonia and Delfi then.
But this kind of competition, do you think sometimes it does more harm than good? Or its competitiveness is always good?
Competitive usually is good, but if it gets unhealthy and you start only blaming somebody or something, then it's unhealthy. But you should breathe in and out, and usually things work out.
So see the good practices in other countries and not be too critic to ourselves.
Absolutely. If Latvians or Lithuanians or somebody is doing something better, there's no rule against copying it, so no worries.
Okay, thank you for this conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Paldies jums, ka skatījāties, un uz tikšanos jau drīzumā.